Yeah. Okay, thank you. This gentleman here, I'll come to you next.
Could I just, I would like to suggest that by the time we get home this afternoon, the images and the voices from this conference will be stored on computers in Cheltenham. By this afternoon, images and voices from this conference, and some of them, after the filter, will be shared by other agencies of the British state by tomorrow. And this is not new. The media in this country has been, particularly the new media, the cyber media, under the control of a military-industrial complex, because it was the military that established cyber communication. This came out of the Cold War, where the military and the British state managed the media under Cold War politics. But it went further than that. For over 200 years, the British state managed the struggle for anti-colonialism. They managed that process. They prevented anti-imperialism. They fought against using media through agencies of the British state, particularly in Ireland and in India, and of course throughout Africa. My question therefore is, to what extent do you see the power of agencies within the British state preventing the new media from being effective? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll start with you, Mike. We'll go on the train.
Well, hello, Cheltenham. I think that we should be aware of the role of the British state, but I think we should also be wary of being too conspiratorial about it and too obsessive about that. I believe in the best security is just openness, open meetings. I don't believe in cadres and secret names and behind closed doors. We are open, we're an open democratic movement. If the British state wants to spy on radical movements, which it has and will do, there is nothing we can do about that. We can protect ourselves digitally by having backups and mirrors and protect our sites from attack. But beyond that, I think we can be conscious, but I think we should go on with our work.
I agree with Mike. I did a big research project late last year and early this year into how activists across the UK responded to surveillance by the state. And one of the things that amazed me was I did a bunch of interviews in Scotland, and a lot of people seem to think that the suggestion that the state might be spying on activists was a kind of tinfoil hat type thing, you know, conspiracy theorist type thing someone would say, when we know fine well that, you know, British state was willing to infiltrate kind of fluffy environmental movements and spend millions of pounds on police officers to, you know, and so on. So I think it's a very important question to ask. How do you respond to the, you know, very likely fact that a movement is infiltrated to an extent by the state that it's being spied on, you know, through online and offline mechanisms by the state and so on? I think the response, though, has to be exactly as Mike says, that you have open meetings, that you know, organise in public. You don't have to be ashamed of what we're trying to do. So, I mean, to answer the specific question, how much is the British state trying to undermine online media? I work for a global website. We have been, you know, banned in China at times, banned in Iran. We've been under electronic attack from people in Russia magically when we write things they don't like and so on. So it's certainly a thing that happens. I don't think that's how the British state tends to operate. I don't mean it operates, you know, in positive ways, but I don't think it operates in that way, and that's not normally our experience of it. What it's much better at doing is co-opting people and making people feel very excited that they get to sit in a room with all the spies and then write stories about them. And they're very good at co-opting the mainstream media, and I expect that they'll get better and better at co-opting online media too. And you need to be aware of that. You know, they're very good at making it feel like good journalism consists of going into MI6 and being told what to say, and we need to resist that absolutely.
Do you want to speak?
Okay, I'll just add, although I've spoken enough, but so I agree with both of you, and I just add two things. One, in a way, it links to the other question about linking media with political struggle, but in a way doing that, which you do, in a way, that's in a way the point of peer-to-peer media, because it's coming from people in struggle and engaged. But I mean, that's a force against co-option of the media. I think the other thing is to, as well as to be open and stimulate debate and so on, we've got to really support exposés of the sort of secret state. So never be fearful of actually exposing what the state, what you're describing, and including supporting whistleblowers like Philip Snowden and Chelsea Manning and so on, and WikiLeaks, you know, and Assange, and so we've got to be also protecting those that are willing to whistleblow, which is a crucial part of, you know, the secret state. I mean, part of the struggle against the secret state is whistleblowing from within it.
Mm-hmm. That's one reason why people should pay attention to the IP bill, I think, as well, actually, because the powers that police and the state will have and have used already to spy on journalist sources is really, really worrying, because that prevents whistleblowers coming out, that prevents exposing those power structures if people feel like they're going to have those kinds of repercussions that we've seen for Chelsea Manning and for Edward Snowden and for Julian Assange. So keep an eye on the IP bill. I don't think enough people are interested in that. We think common space, there's a lot of stuff around that, and you tend to find that the traffic on it isn't really that high. I don't think people are making the connections there. And that was a Theresa May thing as well, I think, with the IP bill, who's now our Prime Minister.